Peace to the family, y'all. Peace, love, and light. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. This one could be quick. I don't want to be too prolonged today, too long-winded. I'm going to make this one very kind of quick. Peace, y'all. Peace, peace, peace. Peace and abundance, abundance and peace. Greetings, welcome. Hopefully it's a beautiful day where you at. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. Happy holy day to all of the Muslims on the planet. Peace to the Moors. Thank you. I value you as well. Peace. Checking in from AZ. Salute to AZ. I read a story the other day. They said Phoenix is still experiencing 100+ degree weather. We're in October, Phoenix. And the other day, according to what I read, they said that it was still like 100-something degrees. Yeah, is it still buffering? Because it was buffering for a minute. I don't know what that was about. Let me know if it's still buffering, y'all. Yeah, you're right. Rising of the Phoenix is definitely what we're experiencing. Cross of the Phoenix. You might want to Google that. Cross of the Phoenix. It deals with a prediction about 2027. And you can find this information in the modality that's called human design. It's about, the background frequency of the universe. And the background frequency of the universe, the physicality of this material universe that we live in is held together by a background frequency. Like the concept of what they speak about with white noise, right? Our reality is supported by a background frequency because everything here is frequency. So in the modality known as human design, they say that we are not seven center beings, meaning that we don't have 7 chakras. They say that we have 9 chakras that we have access to. They say that information is old information. And granted, the majority of the information that we have, that we're running with, even though they call it New Age, it's not New Age. It comes from the age that predates, the blanket of Christianity that came on the planet that kind of excluded all of the information that came prior to it. So it's not that this information is New Age. This information is ancient information, old information. It's just updated in a new era. You know what I'm saying? Because we haven't been exposed to it. So all of the information that we have about 7 chakras, we only have that from the old world. You know what I mean? But human design teaches that we have access to 9 chakras, hence the fact, yes, 9 ethereal beings, 9 ether beings. But then we're saying that after 2027, we'll have access to 12 different chakras, 12 different energy points. And they made key observations. I was introduced to this information around 2013 and 2014, so I've had the opportunity to observe it. Yeah, 12-stranded DNA is what they are theorizing that we're moving into. And when it was introduced to me, they was like, look for these signs. You know what I'm saying? And one of the main signs that they were speaking about was the increase in autism. And not only the increase in autism, also the increase in non-communicative skills for our children. And they don't want to know nothing about our history. You know what I'm saying? They're not interested in the past because they're not tethered to anything that's dealing with the old modality or the old models of the world. So we kind of see some of that right now But we're being pulled back into the old world because of all of these conflicts, right? Anytime that we move towards some level of peace or stability, then we're reminded about old world conflicts. You know what I mean? And very aggressively, you know what I'm saying? Like fastballs, pause. You know, the old world modalities come at us like fastballs, and we don't have an opportunity to gain our breath. So I don't want to talk today about the old world. I don't want to talk about the old world conflicts. I don't want to talk about religion. I don't want to talk about what's going on in the Middle East right now. I want to return to this conversation we was having about where we at, right? Being responsible for whatever modality we was born into this world to be responsible for. So, like, take me, my case in point, I have an interest in media. You know what I'm saying? I went to school for journalism. This don't got nothing to do with school. My pursuit, when I went to school for journalism, it's because I grew up wanting to be a journalist. My father made us read the New York Times at the age of 9 and beyond. I couldn't read the Post or the Daily News, not for primary sources of information. I grew up reading the New York Times. So my vocabulary comes from that experience. I don't consider these big words. I'm not intimidated by the English language, and I don't think that utilizing a plethora of words in a dictionary should be intimidating to anybody, because this ain't even our language. So if we can't master something that's not even, you know what I mean? Like, and when I'm saying it's not us, it means that it's not greater than us, because you are a composite of the languages that you speak. But the language that you speak is not just the language that you're speaking today, right? Because you already came here encoded with knowledge of languages that you have already spoken. So I can hear Arabic spoken. I can even hear Hebrew. And I'm like, yo, that sounds very familiar. But when I hear the clicking language, even when I hear a lot of indigenous tongues, they all sound, you feel me? To me, they sound similar. So I'm not intimidated by language. I would love to learn multiple languages. I would love to open multiple different, you know what I'm saying? What do they call that? Neural pathways. You feel me? So we can know a multiplicity of languages. I think languages are beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And there's so much more to learn about language. You feel me? So I don't want to get lost on that. So what I'm saying is that they stole from multiple cultures to create that one particular. Yeah, English is a composite of a lot of things. You're going to hear Greek inside of English. You're going to hear Latin inside of English. You're going to hear Spanish inside of English. You're going to hear French inside of English, right? So if you have this composite tongue, I can't. Come on. Damn, yo. What the? I don't know what. I I got the 5G. I'm connected to Wi-Fi. Look, this is a multi-million-dollar facility that I'm at, right? There's no reason that the shit should be sketchy like this. I have no idea why I'm having all of these issues just doing a regular stream. It's so much digital manpower inside of this building right now. You feel me? I just wanted to have this conversation with y'all about media and the new age of media. You know what I'm saying? Because rather than talk about what's going on in the Middle East, rather than talk about conflict, rather than talk about religion or any of that stuff, you feel me? The main thing that we should be focused on right now is that we are being let down by media. And this is maybe the second time consecutively, right, that we know that we've been let down by media. Remember, it was a lapse in media. During C-19, and we couldn't depend on media to get any credible news. They were telling us a lot of lies, right? And then it didn't start necessarily with C-19. It goes all the way back to 2016 when they started exposing themselves. And this was during the Trump election, right? Media lost their credibility because nobody in media was able to properly call the quote unquote election, right? All of the media outlets got it wrong. So media puts all of these resources into polling. Media puts all of these resources into predictability models. Media put all of these resources even into propaganda. You feel me? But media was not able to properly call the election. So media, that was the first black eye of media. Right? And when C-19 hit, then they exposed media again. That media is tethered to corporations who pay for their advertising models. Right? So the news is not concerned with truth. The news is concerned with selling ad space. And as people who were lying on truth, we were like parched throats looking for water because we had to make life decisions based on, you know, the level of information that we got. So we needed that information to hit a particular way because we were making life decisions based on that information. That information was manipulated. That information was incorrect. That information was wrong. And people actually lost their lives because of that. Right? And now we see ourselves in a situation when people are waking up and they don't even know what the pedigree of the planet is that they're waking up to. So the first thing that they do, some of us, not all of us, but the first thing that some people do is they wake up, pick up their phones, and they go straight to the media to get a credible source of information that speaks to exactly what's going on. It speaks to their particular interest. And I think that everybody's interest is safety, security. You feel me? And it wouldn't hurt as well to get some leverage on some finances, right? So people want to know where the money at. They also want to know that they're safe in their respective states, right? They want to know if danger's around the corner. There's a lot of things that have people going back to media nowadays. But media can't be trusted. As we can even see in this particular situation, right? Media has been compromised because media is now being utilized as a militaristic arm, a propaganda machine, right? To push whatever the agenda is. And unfortunately, my friends, those agendas don't benefit us, right? Because we're not part of that particular agenda. You know what I mean? They don't, we don't stand to benefit from whatever the narrative or the agenda is. Feel me? So what do we need? We need credible media. We need responsible media. We need media that, you know, is dependable, that's credible. You know what I'm saying? We need media that's consistent as well, right? I need to know that if I'm going to my media, that's going to be there in real time. Shout out to the brother 19 Keys. Everywhere that I have gone, And the majority of meetings that I have around media, right, the new era of media, that brother's name comes up in a lot of meetings. Sometimes I'm just quiet and I don't even be like, I be like, I know the brother. You feel me? I don't even speak. And then they be like, oh, I seen you on the podcast. I know you from X, Y, and Z. So this brother has an incredible arch in terms of what him and Amechi and the team has been able to create with high level media, right? It has broken down a lot of barriers. It has opened up a lot of doors. But what I'm telling you is as I'm going to these meetings about media, he has set a precipice where he has now become the standard, right? When they talking about media, they talking about high level conversations. And that's such over to you guys to show you, there you go, some very clear and concise media, right? So I partner with a company. This company is dope. Today we got a media day, and I'm able to explore all of the different modalities of new media that's being presented. I'm gonna show you some of them real quick. Okay, we're shooting green screen stuff in here real quick. Yeah, so this is the green screen room. New media. Right. Yeah, that's the team. They got their thing together. Got the team on deck. Some dope intellectuals. Right. That's the green screen component. Of course, you know these brothers are shooting with all of the top tier equipment on the planet. Then they got the podcast situation set up. You feel me?
Yeah, I'm waiting on Gene.
Okay. Nah, I'm just on live. I was just showing them some of the different assets. Yeah.
Shout out to Red Pill, Blue Pill, man. These cats be spitting some gems. I'm trying to
Gems.
tell you. I listened to the interview on 19 Keys.
Yes.
And 19 Keys is a solid brother, and I seen what these fellas was talking
Shout
about.
out to
These gentlemen
Keys.
was talking about. I was like, oh man, then they walk up into this. We about to take these cats to the meta?
To the meta.
Web 3? Come on.
Yeah.
Man.
So family, this media junket that we are participating in today is for a company that has metaverse as a service.
Yes.
So the majority of what we are shooting, the content that we're creating, this is going to be, applied in the metaverse, right? So you want to follow them, Plottable, okay? Powered by Play the Crowd, digital experience platform and marketplace. This is for creators, Creator Plus, presenters, crowd, attraction, the whole get up. People think the metaverse is dead or stalled or what have you. No, it's being built out. You feel me? The Netaverse is coming, So trust and believe, you know what I mean? Especially for our creatives out there, you know what I'm saying? Expand the scope of the different platforms that you can put your media on because it's expansive and it's only going to get more expansive. Make sure that you follow the fam, Plottable, okay? I'm gonna take them around some more. I'm gonna come and definitely see you before I leave, though, bro. All right. Yes, as you can see, this is the building that they used in the Avengers, where they was meeting up and everything with the big dogs. All right. Do you know if anybody's shooting a volumetric?
I don't think so.
Okay, pull up on them. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. So I'm going to bring you next to the volumetric room. And this is shooting in 3D immersive, all right? So you can be in a virtual world. This is going to be fun. You can make video games and all of this stuff in this particular room here. Yes. Can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah.
I'm on live. I just want to show them just some of the volumetric setup. You know what I'm saying? So these are volumetrics. These cameras right here, these are like 360 joints. You feel me? And as you can see, they're positioned all around to catch you in a 360 round.
One camera.
Yeah, so these are all multi, top tier. Feel me? Yeah. Thank you, bro. What about that? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we're actually you'll be seeing Pope Pablo. Pope Pablo will be in the cathedrals. Feel me? So yeah, it's an amazing partnership, and it couldn't come at a better time because I know in my heart, because I need it myself. We need trusted media right now, because I'm gonna tell you what's coming next, and you already got an example of it this week. This week past, I said that I didn't want to speak about it, but I have to use it as an example. What we saw with the hospital in Palestine is a perfect example of how misinformation spiraling out of control can cost people their lives. We need responsible media, right? Because now we live in the age of the deep fake. You feel me? So there's little to nothing that you can trust just with your eyes alone, because, our people who already was doing awful when it came to discernment, right? Meaning that they were not able to make sense. You feel me? They have no idea what they're looking at. Even with it not being a deep fake, So let alone when they bring in the deep fakes, which are now here, they've already proven to themselves and to the world and for anybody who is keeping count, even the aliens know that people is hella reactive, right? They're hella reactive. They just respond and react to things. They jump out the window because they're hella emotional. So people's emotions are being triggered, and then they are being impacted by content that might not necessarily be true. And then they're going to act impulsively, you feel me? And the people who are setting up these scenarios have already factored in that people are going to act without thinking. And then they got somewhere for you as well. Because now they're building about 400 super prisons in this country. Of course they're playing on fear. But more so than they're playing on fear, they're playing on ignorance. Right? And our people specifically have failed the test of discernment, especially in this community. We don't know what we're looking at. We don't know who's who and what's what. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how to look at a thing and be like, nah, I'm good. We don't know how to listen to a thing and be like, nah, I'm good, something missing. You feel me? Your handshakes ain't matching your smile. Shit like that. You feel me? So yes, people are definitely perishing from a lack of knowledge or lack of discernment, you know. So it's imperative and it's important that we bring this media, you know what I'm saying? But we don't want to just bring any old media. We're bringing new media, you know what I'm saying, in a new format. So it's going to be 3D, it's going to be HD, it's going to be VR, it's going to be all of the modalities that it needs to be. It's going to be totally mixed reality. It's going to be immersive. You're going to be able to see it in your goggles. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, as always with everything that we do, this is not just about us. You know what I'm saying? So if you feel like you got media chops, you feel like you can be a potentially good host, right? Or you have ideas, unique ideas for what you want your media news show to be, we're open and receptive to hear what you have as well. Do what you feel is good for your creative energy. Absolutely. And this feels amazing to my creative energy. I have the opportunity to prioritize so much media, so many assets that I have. I mean, I study the news. You know what I'm saying? I have volumes of it, and I still don't catch everything, because when I watch, in particular, what's the show? Urban X. Shout out to the Urban X family. Shit, Malcolm, he always unearthing some stuff that I don't know where he be getting his stuff from. I be like, God damn, I thought that I'd be scouring the net. And that brother, he has an amazing research aptitude. Shout out to him. I would love to potentially, you know, work with him in the future as a researcher, because that brother be finding stuff that I be like, where did he find it? So it's a sport, you know what I'm saying, finding good tidbits of news and prioritizing it, you know, and finding a way to repurpose it and you know, position it in front of our people where they can use it. That's a skill set, you know what I mean? But we need to be informed, because our decisions need to be informed right now. We cannot trust mainstream media. Just can't. And we cannot trust, not only could we not trust mainstream media, it's also going to be very hard to trust alternative media that have political slants, right? Because they're going to be propositioning and prioritizing and propagandizing their information to swing votes. I don't have any position. I'm apolitical. My position is my people. You feel me? My position is my people, and we're going to let the truth do what the truth do. It don't need to be manipulated. It don't need to be tweaked and you know what I'm saying, positioned in a particular way. May the best man win at the end of the day. You feel me? So truth is truth. It should be able to stand on its own. You know? So, that's you know, that's our ambitious. That's what our goals are. You know, that's what we're currently engaged in. You feel me? Creating new media. You know, exciting new media in a new age for a new world. You know what I'm saying? It's focusing on this new earth. You know, and all of the things that go along with it. So it's an exciting endeavor. I don't want to talk about the things that are not servicing us, servicing our mental health. You know what I'm saying? Because the world is crazy. It's a lot going on in the world, and we're not in control of these things. Trying to find somewhere it was a little more quiet. Yeah, we're not necessarily in control, right? We're passengers. Position up, post up here. Yeah, we're passengers in somebody else's vehicle, and they taking us on a ride for our lives. You feel me? I'm gonna repeat that so we can visualize, you know, what's being said. We're passengers in somebody else's vehicle, and they taking us on a ride of our lives. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't necessarily equate to power because we're not in control. You feel me? We're not in control. These people is crazy, right? And look, don't take this the wrong way, right? But I'm sharing with you the way that I was, you know, things that I was told when I was raised as a child. My grandfather in particular, he told me that religion is the opiate of the mind. You know what I'm saying? He said religion is the opiate of the mind. And this is not an attack on religion because, you know, I've dabbled before and I understand, you know, I know I can attest to the positive attributes of what religion entails in regards to the order that it comes with. You know what I'm saying? Those things are needed and necessary. You feel me? But there's also, you know, aspects of it that are like bugged out. And that gets to the fanaticism, that gets to the zealotry, you know what I'm saying? And that gets to, you know, people being pretty much caught up in the dogmatic nature of what it entails. And I think that that's what we're looking at on this planet. You feel me? That these people are hell-bent on fulfilling biblical prophecy, whatever that means. And if that's not your gain and you don't stand to benefit from that, then you are a passenger in somebody else's vehicle that's speeding and you don't even got your seatbelt on. So if they crash, guess what? You crash too. Now, the people that I know, their priorities are providing for their family, watching their children grow, getting some extra scratch, You know what I'm saying? And, every now and then they want to feed their vices. Okay? Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? The majority of our people, I don't really know if their metrics are to initiate the end of the world so they could bring about the Messiah. I don't know if that's really what they into. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's at the top of their list. Feel me? But the economy is tricky at this particular time. The streets is hurting. You know what I mean? Money's drying up. And people's patience is getting hella short. You feel me? This is the worst time that they can have a global escalation of this particular order. Once again, where people are seeing that they're pawns in somebody else's game to fulfill or feed to their ego, whatever it is that they seem to be feeding to their ego or feeding to their God or their demigod. Okay? And then that feeding or that feasting that the demigod, requires is blood, fear, division. Okay? So what has been unleashed on this planet at this particular time that almost seems to run over all rationale, right? Where we're looking at people participate in genocide and we are a captive audience making the observation, right? Where children are now cannon fodder. Astaghfirullah, right? That should never be the standard that we choose to live by. That should never be the standard to which is cool with us. And I'm just speaking to you, I'm speaking about the prolonged mental health that goes along with these things. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking about our spiritual health. You feel me? All right? What are the things that we are bearing witness to? What is the potential in the long run? These things that we're making observations of, what's the potential in the long run to drive ourselves fucking crazy? Right? Especially because we're not in control. There's nothing more uncomfortable than bearing witness to what we're looking at and not being in control. So I would ask you, what are the conversations that you're having with your children about these affairs? You feel me? What was the conversation that your parents had with you once you were turned on the TV? Because I remember this shit since I was like 6 or 7. I remember the Middle East. As long as I can remember, these people have been at right? How are you? And nobody took time out with me to explain what I was looking at. I had to figure it out by looking at the news. And then I was mindful enough to ask the right questions. And my questions was qualified by the pedigree of answers that kind of like, I still had to go and do more research. So I'm amazed that so many people don't seem to understand the nature of the conflict. All right, brothers, peace. So what are y'all telling y'all children when they ask you, Mommy, Daddy, is the world gonna end? Why are they over there killing babies? Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
So look, y'all, this is, I know y'all seen the Avengers, right? Remember that scene in the Avengers when they all assembled? Okay. This is where they shot it at. Woo! It's in a spaceship. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Here?
No.
Oh, you know what? Is somebody in there?
Yeah, somebody in there. All right. Yeah, that building is the spaceship. They got some, right? But I'm with my baby, and I ain't gonna hold y'all too long, or what have you. What you doing? Okay.
Head north on Bluegrass Valley Parkway.
I am serious. Like, I'm asking questions because I want to know. I'm not prying.
Head south toward Bluegrass Valley Parkway.
I'm asking so maybe we could compare notes. But what type of conversation are you guys having with your children about what's going on in the world? Because I don't remember, they gave us some very loose explanations in the 80s and 90s when we were watching this stuff initially take place. So before I let you guys go, does anybody have
on Bluegrass Valley Parkway.
Does anybody have any insight
1,000 feet at the roundabout.
or any input, like, into what you could tell a child? And when a baby asks you why is their babies dying, why they blowing up hospitals, why they dropping missiles on buildings, you know what I'm saying? Why they kidnapping grandmothers? Like, what do we tell our children? Because, mind you, the people that are doing it on both sides are doing it in the name of religion, right? So if religion, which preaches and practices peace, if religious people get to this level where they have the most powerful weapons, right? The most powerful weapons are in the hands of religious people. I want you to understand that, right? The most powerful weapons that can destroy planets are in the hands of religious factions. Right? So, if this is how religious people get down, what will the Satanists do? They religious too, mind you. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't even know why people don't put them in the realm of religion, because that's a religion as well. Right? But they're supposed to be the quote-unquote bad guys. So what would the bad guys do if they had the weapons? And then if the peaceful guys got the weapons that can destroy the planet, who's going to protect us from them? Because they're the ones that are stoking fear in the hearts and the minds of people that don't have no ponies in the race. That's like, yo, I just want to live in peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened to that? You feel me? If those people cannot be diplomatic, if they cannot conjure up diplomacy in the name of God or their God or whatever, what hope does the rest of the world have? And I want to make a comparison just so we can be clear. And let me attempt to make this observation and this comparison without it. Can you roll this up for me, baby? Just a little bit. Thank you. I want to make this comparison without it being disrespectful to anybody else. Like, I'm about to go see the movie killer of the flower moon. And it's about the Osage Nation, which is an indigenous tribe in the Midwest who became oil rich, right? And the colonists, i.e. the Europeans, used all of their cutthroat tactics to steal from these people not only their wealth but their land, right? When I made an observation and I was doing my research, I had watched a documentary called The American Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? And the American Buffalo was about how they killed over 30 million buffalo, right, to ultimately destroy the people that they had beef with. So once again, make note, this is how, and these people came over here as settlers who were escaping religious persecution, okay? And they came over here and they persecuted a peaceful people who may have not necessarily known Jesus, but they were the practitioners of peace on the planet. I, to this day, elect to say whatever the religion of the Native Americans are, that should be the universal religion. Because bar none, everybody talks a good one. But we know that they stand for peace. We know that they stand for peace. We know that they have an amazing relationship with nature, right? And we know that they don't force their religion on anybody. So people can speak on it, right? But it can't just be a name alone, right? Regardless of whether they was the original here in this goddamn land or not, they stood on the principle of peace, and they are upholding something that was left to them that they became custodians over, right? The Palestinians are not the original people in that land, but they have upheld a covenant for a conflict that goes back 5,000 years. The Israelis are not the indigenous people of that land. And many of you, regardless of whether you want to identify with it or not, are not indigenous people of this land. You are amalgamations of the people who may have potentially been indigenous people of this land, but you niggas is not, right? You got a small percentage of your genetic stock that reminds you that you may have come from here, right? Yes, I'm talking about a universal religion. I'm talking about when you go to those people, they have that four-color cross with all of the quote-unquote crayon colors of the people of the planet: white, red, black, and yellow. So if you look at their demonstration, right, and we can say that comes from the Congo cross, right? But the people in the Congo, well, right now they're not living in peace. They're living in pieces. They're not living in peace. Just like the indigenous people on this planet over here are not living in peace. The people who supplanted them are not living in peace. The people who are aboriginal to this place are not living in peace. You feel me? And the only one who we feel should be afforded peace is the colonizer who brought hell. Okay? Something is wrong with that. Terribly wrong with that. Right? Peace at what price is what we should be asking ourselves. Peace at what price? Your peace at the price of my peace? Nah. Those are peaceful people, whether they came here or not. They are demonstrating their relationship with the earth that they are custodians of, stewards of. They demonstrate their relationship with the animals of this particular terrain, in particular the buffalo, but many other animals. You feel me? You're gonna have to show me the peace-loving, quote-unquote, people who say that they from these realms who can rival that. Until then, they got the crown. Because they're bearing the brunt of holding form for people who you say they customs and traditions they adopted. It's the same thing we seeing in Israel. Right? They're bearing the brunt for the customs and traditions of a people that they adopted. And they got their own shit with them. You feel me? So the natural European in them is always going to come to the surface. But they holding on to the customs and traditions. Where else have you seen it at? Where else have you seen it? So we can stand to learn something from these indigenous people who we sit in sweats with, right? Who we see still demonstrating and doing the sun dance and all of these things that deal with sacrifice, not animal sacrifice, sacrifice of self, sacrifice of your comforts, right? We can look at it and bear witness to it and be like, yo, this stuff is more in line. This particular demonstration is more so in line with what they keep telling us about major religions being for peace. Islam's supposed to stand for peace. I see war. Christianity's supposed to stand for the Prince of Peace. Nigga, I see war. Right? Judaism's supposed to stand for peace. They have funded wars. Right? On every side. And any and everything in between. I've only known indigenous people of these particular realms to either defend themselves, or yeah, they was running down on people, and they have been, you know, there were tribes that was definitely weaponized to go against one another, right? They got twisted as well. They got turned out from the trinkets that the Europeans brought. You feel me? They got turned out as well. They amalgamated them as well, put the seed in them. Right? We can see all that. But those people are very peaceful to this day. You know, even beaten down, even denuded. I can still see peace in them. I can still learn peace from them. I can still go into their history and learn about peace. And then there's verifiable examples. You know why? Man, listen. Love is war, right? I give you that. Love is war. Feel me? And again, the indigenous people of this planet or this plane, this particular terrain right here, they need to stand up and be counted. They need to reinstitute the relationship that they have with the planet, with the earth, with nature, and stop blaming other people for either being in the way or taking them from it. Because the earth is underneath your feet. The earth is directly underneath your feet. So it's not that far away. There's no white man in between you and the earth. You know what I'm saying? That has to deal with matters of your heart. If it ain't in your heart, it'll never be in your souls. So that's my observation. You feel me? We caught up in people that we say, oh, they cosplaying who we are. If you was who you were supposed to be, couldn't nobody cosplay you because they would look silly standing next to you. It's like keeping the glass of clean water next to the glass of dirty water. But if they the glass of dirty water, but your water is septic, nigga, then they're gonna outshine you every trip. And that's what's taking place. That's what's taking place on this continent. That's what's taking place in the Middle East. That's what's taking place in Africa. That's what's taking place everywhere. everywhere. Feel me? And it's nobody's fault but quote unquote ours. And you can look how them people live. Nigga, Negroes in America is not living in open air prisons. You feel me? And they still got all of the resistance beat out of them. Are you serious? You feel me? So who is the you that compares to the them that you can't hold a candle to today? And you got all this quote unquote so-called freedom. But you don't want to fight to defend nothing. Or do you don't think that you have nothing to defend? Come on, son. Come on, son. Like I said, you know, we have every right to reconnect with the land. The land wants to reconnect with us on some Avatar shit. The trees is calling out. The rocks is crying out. Right? The dirt is reaching out. Animals is woke. Right? Everything is activated. The last thing they're waiting for is for us to plug in. Remember who you are, right? And activate that God principle. And things will start falling into place the way that they're supposed to. You feel me? Things will start falling into place the way they're supposed to. But we can't talk about it, you know what I'm saying? And we can't practice this level of separation because you cannot do it on your own. You can't do it separated. You can't do it splintered. You can't do it divided. You feel me? And it's like we're sitting back and we're making observations and we're seeing, like, look how many people, look how people on the planet unify around an idea. Look how many people unify around a goal and an objective. Look how many people unify around their collective history. You know what I'm saying? We've done everything under the sun but unify. And we got the most to gain from unifying. But this issue that they see out in the world, where this man is running amok around this planet and causing mayhem, that falls directly in our lap. Because that's our baby, that's our child, and we got the closest proximity to him. You feel me? But we ain't sitting him down. We ain't putting him in his place. Right? We're not challenging his hegemonic conquest. Right? We're not pushing back. We just chilling as the fathers and the mothers of humanity, and we watching our children tear this shit up. Feel me? Yes. So what I can do, because, you know, we only have the capacity to do what we're able to do. So I started this live by explaining to people, you know, where I was at and what I was doing. And what I'm doing is instituting or reinstituting or reintroducing, you know, our plans to engage in media, to introduce media, you know, because our people are out here dying from a lack of information and the wrong information, misinformation. And what we're heading into, right, in terms of the planet, not just us as melanated people. I mean, any and everybody that can hear me, and, you know, everybody on the planet is going to be subject to some level of misinformation. You feel me? And the misinformation has levels and tiers. So you got deep fake video that is gonna be all of the rave come next year. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at a president who has a prosthetic mask on, and we talking about what's real and what's not. My nigga, this is not a conversation that you qualify for. You don't have no idea what's real right now. And this is the question I was asking 3 weeks ago, and it leads up to where we're at right now in society. And I will just ask you to ask yourself this question in privacy. I'm gonna pose it, but you ask yourself this question. Who you think is making decisions? And I asked you this before this conflict popped off to prepare you for this particular conflict. I said, you think that Biden is reading the daily briefings from the military and being informed about all of the different, they said that there's 5 spots on the planet that could pop off at any moment right now that will put this country in the most perilous situation. 5 of them, right? So based on this individual that you saw at the press conference the other day with the double chins, right? You trust your life in the hands of an 80-year-old who's off script, who don't know where he's at any given moment, who's totally senile. This is the person responsible for navigating the world into its new era, this new earth that we're moving into. We're trusting the future of this planet in the hands of an 80-year-old. And that makes you feel comfortable? I got the video. For some reason, they're not allowing us to share video right now or different content on our lives anymore for whatever reason, right? But I got the video where he has the instructions that they give him before he goes into meetings. He, as slow as he is, he exposed it to the media. Now, whether he wanted to do that or not, that's a whole nother conversation. But the cat is out the bag. So he's being instructed on what to say and how to say it. You feel me? And I've asked you this question plenty of times, right? I'm like, yo, you feel that there's a safe security measure in this country for giving clearance to people who have dual citizenship? They have the top military clearance, and then these people are, stacked all in the administration, right? It should be a conflict of interest to have dual citizenships of Israel and this country in top national positions, right? Because other than that, this country is just a vassal for Israel. It's not the other way around. Israel is not a vassal for this country. This country is a vassal for Israel. And that's what it apparently looks like. It looks like there's an Israeli commander that's calling the shots in the United States military or government, and Biden is just reading the script, which puts us in a precarious situation because they keep saying that they're defending the national interest. Is it in our national interest for our country to go to war on multiple fronts to defend the state of Israel? This country's saying yes. You feel me? This country is saying yes. And then that's a decision that's being made for your daughters and your sons. And I'm like, how, Sway? You feel me? The level of apathy is unbelievable. It's been that way. So let's be clear. And that's the only thing that we've been focusing on is clarity, right? Let's be clear. Do we know what we're dealing with? Because when we can see it for what it is, then you can possibly detach emotions from it, and you can think rational about how to get through it. And that's where we're at. That you're going to have to be able to think rational to get through things, because you're going to see things that defy all logic. And you're going to be like, wait a minute. I thought this was the U.S. Okay. All right. You're not reading the room. You're not reading the metrics properly. who's in control. It's impossible for an 80-year-old Catholic Jesuit to be the one who's doing it. The Vatican, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all hearing how they speaking to the Vatican right now? Israel is telling the Vatican, take a seat, shut up and sit down. Right? This is what they're telling them. Because they're bombing churches too. You understand? They're bombing churches as well. They're not just bombing mosques and masjids. They're bombing churches too. And the theosophical community that's in Israel and Jerusalem in particular, right? They're speaking out against it. They're raging against it. You feel me? And then that's even falling on deaf ears because they're being ignored, right? Because they don't have no power in this particular situation. So it seems, right? Because we're looking at politics and everything is subterfuge. We're at war. You can't expect for the information to be correct. This is what I'm telling you. This is the preeminent time that we need our own media, because you cannot trust them. You're not supposed to trust them, right? Propaganda is a tool of war. Media is an arm of the military. Yeah, then one has to ask, and then who is Israel listening to? And that's the big, that's the big question. You know what I'm saying? Can you get behind that curtain and see that wizard? Chances are you can't. Not possibly. Because now this is going up to the families. You feel me? Was it ironic that the same week that all of this is escalating, that the Rothschilds are selling off, you know, some of their fortune? Because we can't be led to believe that that's all of it, right? They just might be clearing out of storage. These are robber barons of the planet. That ain't it, right? That's not that, you know, the little trinkets that they selling at Christie's. Yeah, that's not the whole collect. That ain't the collection. That's not a smidget of it, I don't think. But they still doing it, and it could be more symbolic than anything else. You feel me? So, again, family, I just want us to be coherent. I want us to be aware. You know what I'm saying? I want us to be almost lucid, not even awoke or awakened. You need to be lucid at this particular time. And I'm not saying that you have to know everything that's going on in this conflict. You can be totally absolved into your own world, right? Like, shout out to my sister Rhonda. She's in the chat. I'm sure that she's totally immersed in Costa Rica and all of the beauty that entails. You know what I'm saying? Let's get lost in nature. You feel me? If you're not gonna engage this stuff, then tune it out altogether. Find your peace and protect it. Find your peace and protect it. You know what I'm saying? But for those of us that are still in the mix of things, for those of us that are still in the dunya, right? We're here in the world, and we got to come up with some answers. So, to protect our own mental health, we need information that we can count on. We need credible information. We need sound information that we can build on top of. Right? So, it's not, lucid dreaming is cool, but we need to be engaged in lucid living. You know what I'm saying? So that's being lucid in your waking state. That you are so clear and coherent as to what's going on. You feel me? That no misinformation can throw you for a loop. Or emotionally engage you in a way in which, you know what I'm saying, can throw off your mental. Because this is going to have repercussions on people's mental. There's no way that you're going to see all of this death and destruction in high definition and HD and walk away with a sound mind. Not what you're about to see. You feel me? Because it's going to get crazier. And you're going to be like, wow, like, it makes you almost feel, ugh. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And checking with the children. I know somebody said in the chat that, you know, children don't really care. And I don't find that hard to believe. You know what I'm saying? The children, as children, are already desensitized. So what sort of world are they going to inherit? Right? They're desensitized already. You feel me? They already got 100,000 kills in Call of Duty. This shit is a video game to them. It's a video game to them. It's simulation. It's a video game. It's not real to them. But it has real world ramifications. You know what I'm saying? It has real world ramifications. Feel me? And we owe it to them at least to have a conversation with them about the importance of life. Because all of this shit amounts to just, and then I spoke about this during C19. C19 was the desecration of death, right? Where they changed the modality of death and they kind of lessened life because people wasn't getting buried properly, right? Death became something that was like a hint, like, oh, this nigga, I mean, whatever. Right? People were propositioned in a particular way where they had to make these life and death decisions. And sometimes that involved throwing people overboard. Right? So they could live, so they could be comfortable. So they can have access to the rations that was running low. Granny, you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Eating up the food. Feel me? People were making decisions like that. And the delicate station of death was desecrated. You feel me? The delicate station of death got desecrated. And it's almost like we haven't rebounded out of that situation. Right? Because we live in a realm. I heard you read. We live in a realm where we are now dealing with mixed reality. And like an example of that, like I just came from a media event that deals with mixed reality. So mixed reality is that we're going to be able to mix in virtual reality and augmented reality and physical reality with this new media apparatus that we are engaging in, right? That's one version of mixed reality. Mixed reality is your children can't tell the difference between the real world and video games because they have now become desensitized to the real loss of life because they've experienced it so much in the virtual realm. So they live in a mixed reality. You feel me? This ain't real to them. And they don't care. Right? But these are going to be the people that is going to be in charge of diplomacy and you know what I'm saying, geopolitics and things of that nature, or so we're led to believe, right? Hence why you see them have such an abrupt response to the Harvard students, because they say, what? These are the institutions that the leaders of the future come from, Ivy League, right? That's the modality that they have created that births new thought leaders of the world, so they think. Okay? This is what they think. Oh, you know, all of our future leaders are coming from Harvard and these Ivy League schools. So if these people are pro-Palestine, then we need to cut the funding off of the school. We need to expose who these students are, right? So now you're shaming people for their politics. This is the country that we're living in right now. And nobody sees the issue with it. Because the veil has been not lifted. The veil has been firmly pulled over the eyes of our people, where we can't see reality for what it is. We live in a mixed reality. Right? We live in a mixed reality. So we don't even understand the nuances of what we're looking at and the precedent that this is setting. right? How can you how can you target children? How can you target those children like that for their political affiliations, right? This sounds like a communist regime. This sounds like fascism. And we don't even know what we're looking at, and it's right in our face. You feel me? And then what is the apt Negro response? This don't have nothing to do with me. I don't got no ponies in the race. Therefore, I'm going to sit this shit out and be more concerned with what fuck Jada Pinkett got to say about a nigga that been dead for 27 years. Or her neutered ass husband. Or lack thereof. That's what we want to talk about as a community. Or DJ Envy. Envious. My baby like DJ Envy news. It gives us an ability to vicariously hate on a light-skinned nigga. To be like, I can't.
It's a learning experience, just like all that. Yeah. Everything that you're saying, it's a learning experience.
Check my ass. There we go.
People, the whole essence of this is that people really don't understand what's going on. That's what's been happening. Discernment, the
right?
whole time.
Yeah.
No, they don't understand what's going on. Like, straight up, some people, the reason why a lot of people don't care is because they don't get it. Like, honestly, you saying one thing, but it look like something else. Just like when somebody look on social media. No, you can't put me on camera. No, I don't got my glasses on.
Okay, all right. I just asked her.
Yeah, no, some people, like, honestly do not know what's going on. Like, you look on social media, and I could tell you that, yeah, the person with 15 million followers, they're actually broke in real life. And you may hear me, but it won't register because the profile don't look like that. Mm-hmm. So, people really don't know. So how can I care about something I really don't understand?
So that's what I was speaking about, mixed reality, right? That the discernment is at an all-time low because now people can use digital formats and you know, phones and Instagram and social media to make something appear to be something totally outside of what it is.
It's been that way. It's been happening for a long time. As the generations go on, it's been happening. There was a time when people were extremely involved in politics, and now is the time where people are not. They're only pretending like they know what's going on, so they don't sound stupid because they know they should know what's going on, but they don't get it. And they feel stupid to say, I don't get it. So let me just say what I think is going on and the right thing to say so I could be on the right side of history and move on with my life, because at the end of the day, I still ain't got no money. I still got to take care of these kids in my household. What the fuck can I do? Right? I'm separated from my native spiritualities or traditions or whatever.
Right.
I'm, like, what would you like them to do? The only thing that you can do is, even with all the situations, because in essence, what's going on is the veil is lifted, whether it be for Palestine, Israel, the Vatican, Envy, Jada. We all starting to realize that, oh, y'all been lying the whole time. It was a lie in my face the entire time. And it's okay to say, you know what, damn, I was wrong. I did not know. So now, from now on, this is what I'm going to do. That's what Trump should have showed you.
Right. Somebody said that's the Trump effect.
Yeah, that's what that shit should have showed you.
And, it's also worth noting, because, you said before social media, somebody else in the chat said it. Yeah, the faking it till you make it era. I lived through that.
That is literally what's going on with the DJ Envy situation, and it happens with a lot of people. Half of them they're going into businesses with people that they don't know what's going on. I just agree to bring in the sales. You're going to take care of the other part. Cool. Let's just make sure the money come in.
I've been in them situations.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. So when something happen and the feds come knocking, IRS come knocking, you probably honestly don't know. Why? Because you wasn't handling your business from the jump. A lot of people in corporate America, I know y'all could testify to that. When you get into higher positions, and you find out that company don't know what the fuck they doing. Your manager don't know what they doing. The CEO don't know what's going on. Nobody know what's going on, but they put on this front like it's so prestigious. They make you feel like you a part of something because it's feeding your insecurity and your low self-esteem. And you bought into it without paying attention. And it's okay. We all do it. That's what a learning experience. So if I see it now, the next time I know I'm gonna do more research. I'm gonna do my due diligence before I say, all right, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say that, whatever. It's just learn. And if you don't want to admit it, learn and do better the next time. That's really all. But people are not willing to say that, because then it's like, damn, my whole life I've been wrong. My grandmama been wrong. My mama been wrong. So what the fuck kind of life I've been living?
Ooh.
But that's fine, because now you're the one that's aware, and you get to decide from which way you and your generations is gonna go. You feel me? It's okay to be wrong. Wrong is beautiful. Challenge is beautiful. That's how you grow. That's how you change.
All right, Ms. Rashida, we're gonna need some more time from you. You give me like 5 more minutes.
I give you whatever you want.
She give me whatever I want. So I get to learn as well. I get to sit back. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting put on the game and shit. You know, this is the wisdom of the youth. You know what I'm saying? So tell us some more shit. You just tell us some more. You don't stop there. So the truth thing, because it hit you hitting on some things, right? Because like FTX, that company, they're going through the same thing.
Yeah.
Remember Sam Bankman-Fried?
Right.
He's on trial right now.
Right.
And all of this stuff that you speaking about, that's how it's coming out. That they like, nobody, you know, if the CEO don't know what's going on, you feel me? Like, how can you run a organization or a corporation and the people who are at the top, who are decision makers, are not mindful of the decisions being made, nor do they want to own any of the responsibility of the decisions being made. So with that being said, right, because I love the analogies, I'm saying that the U.S. government is being run the same way the FTX was being run. I believe that Sam Bankman-Fried or Friedman had no knowledge of the upper tier decisions that are being made. That's the same thing with Joe Biden, because you cannot tell me that you think that he's making the decisions that are moving this country forward daily, nor is he making the foreign policy, the you know what I'm saying, the most delicate decisions that are being made on an international stage to forward foreign policy, of which the U.S. is the custodians of, or something like that, or they call them the global police force. But there's 2 million people who have penetrated the porous borders of this country. You feel me? And I've never been that person. And it's very uncomfortable to be in this space to even make these observations and make these comments. You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking at that situation and I don't feel great about it. Even though it's like, all right, because we got to say it, you know, there are people dying in Africa, y'all. 5 million people have died in the Congo since 1995. So we're not minimizing the loss of life that has taken place on the continent as well. We cannot speak about Palestine if we don't remind you that there's babies dying on the continent too, right? And let's give some of the hot spots that they're dying. They're dying in the Sudan. Ethiopia and Eritrea is still in a civil war. They were dying in CAR, which is Central African Republic, because they was at war with France, right? ISIL or ISIS is still active in certain parts of the continent, and they're killing children, right? And you don't see that in your media, so we're disconnected. You know what I'm saying? And niggas over here don't care about African children. They did the number on us in the 80s with the motherfucking African booty snatchers. I'm trying to tell you the truth. And if I'm trying to tell you the truth, just accept it for what it is, and please don't argue with me. And if you're speaking for yourself, speak for yourself. I'm speaking for a plethora of people who I communicate with from day one until now, nigga. They don't care, okay? They have effectively destroyed the humanity in our eyes of other Africans. And they've done it to us as well. That's why we're so effective at killing one another. So effective, right? There's nothing more exciting than black death and destruction. Tell me I'm lying. Boom, 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 boom. We got nigga ad-libs for it. Boom, 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 boom. We got catechisms for it, right? Sniffing the nose, nigga. That's about killing niggers. We got a culture built around that shit. Nobody give a fuck about no African babies. No disrespect. I do.
Yeah.
I do. Right? But I had to fight through it to get to that. Because they denuded their humanity all the way back in the 80s with HIV, my nigga. And we all grew up subject to that shit. So niggas, a nigga don't care about nothing. That's the nigga cares about his dick. That's what a nigger cares about. Nothing. Right? He sees the world through the tip of his wood. That's what a nigger is. So they don't give a fuck about nothing else. A nigga can't love a bitch. A nigga don't have love in him. Y'all don't understand what the making of a nigga is. To even use those two words together. Right? A nigga, by definition, does not care. Right? So the definition of a nigga. He has a melanated body with a European mind. That's a nigger. In a nutshell. That's nigger in a nutshell. Nigger in a nutshell. A nigger in a nutshell. You have an Africanoid or Moorish-inspired anatomy, a body, physiology, right? With a European mentality, right? You are operating off of the instructions of the colonizer who created you in the labs of North America, because there are no niggers in antiquity. Right? You don't show me a 6th generation nigga. You can't. So we're at a place where it's like death has become us. You know what I mean? Death has become us as a people. Look, I'm watching I don't even like using the word immigrants. Like, I can't bring myself to say that shit. That sounds so European. I'm watching melanated men who came from Africa, from Sudan, Senegal, and Congo, right? And all of the footage that I'm looking at the quote-unquote immigrants, I'm not seeing Mexicans. I'm seeing melanated men who have made it over here. That's a whole nother story, because I'm like, so you telling me they walked from Africa? Because
Put them on the plane.
so they put them on the plane and they flew them to Mexico, which means that America is meddling in the backyard of Africa and making deals with foreign national governments and supplying visas, right, for their displaced populations. Or they're telling them that they have opened the border and they're allowing them in there. So the plethora of melanated men, because these are full-grown men, right, that are coming in across the border, many of which are melanated, they send the Haitian ones back, right? I seen a dude from Cuba who was standing online at the Roosevelt Hotel in New York. The nigga had Versace glasses on with a Versace watch with a Cuban with Versace silk shirt on, talking about he came from Cuba into Mexico, crossed the border, and made his way up to New York on the bus. Something ain't right. Then I'm watching the Africans who were sitting outside of the Roosevelt Hotel in the hundreds, right? And I'm like, there's a narrative and a story here that's just not being told. And this shit, something ain't right, man. Boatloads of Asians, Arabs, and others with barely no women or children. Right? So they're bringing the men in regardless. Like, get that out the way. They're definitely military age. That is not the concern. You need to be like, well, these niggas child soldiers before. Right? Because military age in different countries means what? If you 8, you military age. What's military age? You feel me? And I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that person that's like, yo, we got to look at them. I want to know what their skill sets are. I want to know if they have something to offer in regards to what our quote unquote struggle may look like, getting the oppressor off of our backs. I want to know whether they made deals with this government, though. I want to know, are they military? You feel me? I want to know what promises was made to them. I want to know what sort of political wrangling was done in order to get them over here so we can be abreast as to what our country is doing in foreign nations in our name.
And send them to New York City.
And to send them to New York of all places?
They don't got space for New Yorkers in New York City, but they got space.
They don't have space. They're driving native New Yorkers to the South by the droves, by the busloads, literally. The China buses. Right? But they opened, look, they cleared out, and this is it, like, they cleaned out the shelters of New York.
Fact.
To make way
But it's
for a population of men who came across the border that's considered to be a quote-unquote immigrant population. I hate that word, right? Something just don't sit right. And I don't want to look at my brothers like that. Because I'm like, shit, gang, gang. Like, what's so good? Like, we supposed to all be on the same gang. Do y'all got any intel? What's going on? So I read about, Chicago's getting it bad, right? Chicago, the mayor of Chicago was about to go to the border. He sent delegates the same way that Eric Adams did at one point, right? They sent the delegates to the border, you know what I mean? And they came and they just said like this, and this is disrespectful because this is, once again, us as people, as quote unquote innocent people in this country that just want to go along and get along and provide for ourselves and our family or what have you, right? You know, Negroes is talking about voting Trump back in to get the stimmy again, right? They totally missing the point. They want to bring this dude back in to get the stimmy, but here you have a population of grown ass men numbering around 200,000, right? Because initially they said they let 2 million people over the border. That's the population of Gaza. Okay, let's be clear. But let's say about 200,000 men, able-bodied men. They're giving them housing and they're giving them money. Now, I'm not a hater, right? Because these are melanated indigenous people who are receiving from America what we never received, right? So I'm like, hey, so be it. You know, give me your tattered, your weary, your all of that shit, right?
Nah, I'm a hater.
They getting.
I'm a hater.
You don't
know how expensive it is to live in New York. You ain't never seen your whole block, your whole existence that you grew up on just disappear.
Yeah,
and
it was
motherfuckers
personal.
Just get to fly in. They get a choice too. It's not like niggas saying, "Well, y'all here, we gonna have to put y'all in East New York. You gonna have to go to Brownsville." No, these motherfuckers said, "No, I want to go here. This is where I want to be," and they said, "All right, we got y'all."
Roosevelt Hotel in New York City is a major hotel.
I'm hating.
In a major location in Midtown Manhattan, right? And they were not even able to house our people during C-19
at all,
right? Where the mental health crisis spiraled out of control and people were sleeping in the streets. So when I went to New York around September of 2020, I saw people defecating literally in the street of 42nd Street. that's uncalled for. Like, you don't do that. Not in New York. That's the tourist attraction.
Exactly.
And it's like,
not over there.
not over there of all places. Like, you just don't, like, if anywhere that you don't do that at,
It's bad for business.
it's there. Like, don't do it there. Do it somewhere else, but not there.
Do it in the real New York City. Not
Yeah, like, go in the hood. Go on the side blocks. Go to the West Highway and do it in the dirty ass river. But don't do it on 42nd Street. They was shooting dope and taking shits on the street. Right? The graffiti, like, they put a whole new layer over New York in terms of the graffiti. Shout out to the return of the graffiti writers in New York. I ain't mad at that. But they went OD. They went OD in New York. And like I said, the mental health crisis hit an all-time high because they was kicking people out of the quote-unquote the shelters and pushing them into the streets. And then people were getting kicked out of their homes before they had a moratorium on the rent situation, and the STEMI shit was getting sucked up and people wasn't getting the PPPs to that degree, right? They were kicking people out by the boatloads, and then some people was coming down south, but other people was stuck and they was living in the streets. Yes, mixed reality.
Okay.
Right? So all of a sudden, the administration changes. They become lax on security, open up the borders, when the whole conversation during the last administration was border security and building a wall.
And y'all call
Right?
it racist.
And they called it racist. And then they turn around and do the exact opposite and open the border to everybody but Haitians. Right? To the degree, like I said, where they're flying people from Africa over. Ask yourself, why and how are there upwards to 200,000 in New York on scooters? That came from the continent overnight.
That's the sorcery.
Who's paying for them flights? So this has to be a State Department move, because what happened, and I'm going to tell you the news, right, as I remember it. I don't know it all, but I read a lot of news, and I stay abreast of my research. So Eric Prince, who is the leader of Blackwater, was in the Congo, right, at the same time that the Dikembe Mutombo was there. They was all in a 5-star hotel, and they were having a transnational meeting between countries and corporations about who was going to get the largesse of Africa's minerals, which the plethora of them are located in the Congo. So they was carving up Africa again, like on some Berlin Conference shit, right? And America was late to the party because Russia's already stabilized there with the Wagner Group, right? And China, you already know, right? They already got their legacy play going. So America was late to the party. So they have to talk politics when they come late to the party. This is the result. I'm surmising, right? Because I'm going to do some more research. I'm reaching here. And I'm saying that this is their political maneuvering for them to jockey for position on the continent to get into the mineral race of which they need for their semiconductor chips. And they also have to play nice because of the uprising that you see on the continent. If they're pushing out French colonizers, how long you think it's take before they say, oh, we need British colonizers to go? How long you think it's going to take before they say we need U.S. interests out of here? And then they start moving on those mines in South Africa, because the diamond business as well in Israel is doing the worst that it's done in a long time. Right? But the gig in town is no longer diamonds. The gig in town is cobalt and coltan. The gig in town is lithium. You feel me? That's the new gig in town. You know what I mean? So once again, you know, who are these people making deals with? And what sort of deals are they making? And how is it impacting us as melanated people? Because We're not getting the memo. You know what I'm saying? Where are our politicians that are, doing town halls to tell us this stuff? Right? We don't know what we're looking at. And none of those ride sharing apps, delivery apps, like none of our quote unquote, when I say our people, let's say citizens of this country, the republic, they don't no longer have them jobs. The Africans took all them jobs. They're on scooters. They're unlicensed, right? But they're giving them temporary licenses in order to do commerce. They're giving them temporary work stay papers they're giving them temporary papers to do business in the city. I'm not hating on nobody's ability to provide for themselves, their family, their village, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But my G, like, New York is overcrowded and is outpriced for New Yorkers. And there's an integral need for original New Yorkers to still be in New Yorkers. That's like having bacteria in your microbiome, nigga, to keep your gut health good. We need that bacteria still in New York. You cannot sanitize New York of the original New Yorkers and think that New York is going to still hold its form. New York is a fucking simulation that's reflected from the hearts and the mind of the people that live there.
That is a fact.
I don't care what nobody say.
That is a fact.
I repeat it. New York City is a simulation that's projected from the hearts and the mind of its indigenous original inhabitants that live there. And I don't mean all the way back to the Lenape indigenous inhabitants. I mean native New Yorkers.
Fact. It's the whole energy. It's the whole. The people really make New York for real.
Yeah, the people make that city what it is. And then they have a large population now in Chicago, you know what I'm saying, of people that they have brought, quote unquote, immigrants. So there's again, like I said, this is politics. We're caught in between politics. The governor of Texas is a Republican, and he's the one that has been initiating busing people to what they consider to be called, what they call them cities? Sanctuary cities. And the sanctuary cities that they're busing him to, of course, he's playing politics. He's going to send them to liberal-based cities, which are democratic cities, blue cities. So the shit the Chicago mayor said is like, yo, give us a heads up. They're not even telling them that the bus is on the way.
Exactly.
They're just pulling up at night in the middle of their cities and dropping off hundreds of quote-unquote people who just came over the border. That's not cool on some America shit. We got a lot that we need to get situated in our own home amongst us as a people.
Well, then that goes back to your question: is who is running this?
Who's running this?
For real. Because I know every state has their own different whatever, but if you're not even gonna tell me you dropping motherfuckers off to my
Right.
side,
Then who's running it? Because during C-19, I couldn't send. Thank you. I couldn't, you know what I mean? If states were autonomous, they was practicing their sovereignty, right? But there was state sanctions, like, oh no, we're not taking that from that other state because they was autonomous.
Right.
So what one state did, the other state didn't do, and you couldn't bring that over into that state because they was practicing their sovereignty. So what happened?
Jurisdiction.
Right, they were practicing their sovereignty, which establishes their jurisdiction. So what happened? How are you able to forcefully impose thousands of people on another city that's already bustling at the seams with its population? So we went from population to control to overpopulation in a few months. God damn it. Y'all trying to give Bill Gates a heart attack, huh?
We killed some of y'all off to make room for these people.
Yeah. We done lost all the people during we done lost all the elderly during C-19 to be replaced with an immigrant population. And again, no disrespect to our melanated brothers and sisters who have every right to the pursuit of life, liberty, and all of this shit that they keep telling you that this country is about. Especially if you could position yourself to get here and you got it, good. You know what I'm saying? I just want to know what comes with that. You feel me? Because now we all in the same fishbowl together. And we got every right to know. And you can't tell us that there's a health crisis, but then you are filtering hundreds of thousands of people across that border into this country. Now, I don't want to see them get jabbed.
Just happened.
I don't want to see them get jabbed. I don't want to have to say, oh, this is a jabbed up population and they're sending pipe bombs in here, time bombs in here, which also might be the case. Right? And I don't want my xenophobia to come out to be like, didn't y'all just tell us them niggas have monkeypox? Look, Rhonda, I ain't making no excuses for myself. Right? I ain't on here pretending to be somebody that I'm not. I'm telling you, this shit goes through my mind. I never thought that I would be this person, though. But here I am. Here I am. All right, spitting that spit. Can you... Oh. Okay, look. It's method, you know. It's the what? She must have seen Breakfast Club. I mean, what you call it? Drink Champs.
Listen, you brought it up. Don't be hating. I be hating on my past relationship. That was in the past.
Alright, chill. Alright. You could turn that getting beside yourself, girl.
Pull it out, right? No, you good.
And you owe me a movie date. So
Y'all see how Brother Blue come on?
calm down. Fuck's wrong with you? We on live. God damn it.
You never talked about your exes on live?
No.
Y'all see the double standard?
Look, and it's mixed reality that my lady live in, right? Because we all got our mixed reality. I'll do a live one day, real talk, and I'll give you all of the mixed realities that I think that I live in, right?
I don't need this
My imagination
hateration or
is
this
strong.
holleration in my dancery. Okay. I don't need your hateration or your holleration in my dancery, okay? Positive vibes only.
Positive vibes only. Okay. So, you know, I'm not a politician, but you know, my politics, like take the IE, which is the Inland Empire, San Bernardino Valley, right? San Bernardino Valley. You know, there are places, let's take upstate New York, Orange County, you know what I'm saying? There's so many places. Let's take Shreveport, Louisiana, right? There are so many places in this country that can utilize a population, a workforce to transform what's considered to be underserved towns. And let me be so fucking clear and coherent. And I'm dead ass. Like, if I was in New York, I would have a hiring agency for these able-bodied men and women who I feel have skill sets to supersede what we may have been taught over here. So let me make that clear, right? I'm almost jealous. I want to go and pick some Mexicans up and have them build a small village. Not to exploit their labor. I know that they have the know-how to do it, right? And I know that they have the incentive to do it. Let's be clear, right? So I'm not a hater. I'm just saying, on some make America great again type shit, okay? Why not put them in underpopulated cities that need revival? They need economic revival and they need rebuilding, right? The Mexican can teach the African how to build. The African can teach the Mexican some of its skills. You know what I'm saying? And then you are now looking at a subset of our population with a skill set that, you know what I mean, gives them a strategic advantage, right? Because then they would be beneficial even when they, you know, if in fact they have the opportunity to go back to their home at some point, or surrounding countries on the continent or anywhere on the planet that needs an active labor force that can actually still build. You feel me?
I'm over here for. They didn't bring them over here to help nobody but themselves.
I mean, to help themselves, they must be willing to help somebody else,
What you
right?
mean?
Meaning that if you got job, if you hiring, and I want to help myself, and I gotta come and work for you to get a check, then I'm helping you too, helping myself, correct? And
How is
hold
that
on,
helping
and
the
then
American people, though?
we had a rash of quiet quitting last year and the year prior. I can't find good employees. I can't find nobody that wants to fucking work, right?
People want to get paid, and that's part of the
Hold
problem.
on,
You
hold
can't
on,
make
hold on.
people. That's part of the problem.
I ain't
with
asking nobody to work for free.
But I ain't say you. I'm saying that's part of the problem with the quiet quitting. A lot of people are giving and giving and giving a lot of their time and energy for fucking pizza. They're gonna give you a slice of pizza and tell you good job, thank you for all we look how much we made this month. You guys are working so well, but I'm not gonna give you a raise. You damn right I'm gonna quit. What the fuck? So you couldn't pay me, but you're gonna bring these other people in here to pay them?
I think
I get what you're trying to say, right. But I'm saying, like, I don't think these people are brought over here for the help and the betterment of other Americans.
But what I'm telling you by proxy, if other Americans represent the hiring labor force, then by proxy, they stand to benefit from having access to a workforce or labor force that they can potentially, possibly get at a discount, because this is still capitalism. At the end of the day, you ain't jerking them, but I'm saying, like,
and this is why America is constantly getting infiltrated. This is why our security is fucked up. This is why our cyber security is fucked up, because of shit like this. I'm here for the peace. I'm here for the unity, but that's 9 times out of 10 not what these people was brought over here for. So you don't know who the fuck you letting in your company. It's not like these people came over here, they was raised here, the parents came trying to make a better life. We don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm not saying that they might not have any good interests, but at the same time, you don't fucking know. This is what constantly happens. We just listened to that whole interview with the CIA nigga. Like, y'all have no clue how much America gets infiltrated daily, yearly, annually. And you don't know anything about it cyber-wise, especially cyber-wise. It's almost ridiculous how much America gets infiltrated cyber-wise. And y'all always looking at us. You always staring at us, got the big brother eye on us. But you can't tell the stupid shit, the stupid type of infiltrations that happen at top levels. So yeah, I understand what you mean, and that sounds great. But in essence, that don't look like what this is. So again, for those people that's hiring, that need skillful people and whatever, that all great and good. But again, like we seeing on a global scale, y'all better do y'all due diligence. Y'all better start doing y'all research with shit. Clearly you can see you can't trust, and you can't trust your president. You can't trust your government, because you don't even know who those people are. Everybody like to say the electoral college, y'all can't name 10 of them. So we don't know who's running the show. Every day we find out what we is going on. Who the fuck do we go and raise hell about? What building do we go to and raise hell at, that y'all gotta let us in on some of them decisions? When that whole shit before COVID was happening with them people, when they didn't even know what to do, they were just like, shit, we made it in, all right? You know, like, I was kind of proud of them, like, shit, okay, I'm with y'all. What y'all about to do? But you know, it's an ego check on the globe. It's an ego check for us as individuals all over the place, because we are so like you say, desensitized and separated. We don't really understand what's going on. We don't really care. Because I still got to wake up tomorrow and a Palestinian may not be giving a damn about if a black person gets shot in America. So,
yeah,
at
maybe
the same
not.
time,
Maybe not.
And that
You know
doesn't
what I'm
mean that
saying?
we don't care, but I think that we need to start looking at these situations objectively and cosmically, meaning holistically. Like, one thing is not separated from the other. You need to start finding where the commonalities are at, so that you don't find yourself stuck in these stupid ass situations, which is what I feel like the Times is trying to is giving us the opportunity to see. Like, look, this is what's been going on the whole time. Ain't shit really above you. Ain't shit really below you. You do have a choice. You do have a say so. Your voice is important, but not for the reasons that you think it is. You feel me? So that's all I'm saying. It's not that I don't think that they can't, be here for good reasons, or they really may need it. You don't know what, like you said, you don't know what the fuck is going on. There's wars going on. We don't know what type of agreement Congo, Senegal, whoever got with America. We don't know what the hell is going on. I want to love them people. I don't know what they think about me either. You feel me? So, and they're demanding of where they want to stay. New Yorkers cannot demand what. There's people that's been living in a place for years with rats, grown ass rats,
Grown ass rats,
whole grown rats. Okay, that New York City is doing nothing about. But you could let immigrants come and choose where they want to live in New York City. Oh, must be nice. So again, I'm here for the unity. I'm here for the peace. But the times are showing us that we have to open our fucking eyes, be mindful, be observant before you just go and make a decision. Yeah, keep your heart open, but keep your eyes open too. Feel me?
I feel you. And yeah, that's keep your hearts open, but keep your eyes open. And I think that statement is an overarching statement about a lot of things that we're seeing right now. You know what I mean? Keep your heart open, but keep your eyes open. There's definitely things that are moving and shifting and shaking. You know what I'm saying? And lead with love. You know what I'm saying? Don't follow with fear. Amongst everything else, it's cool to ask questions. It's cool to be skeptical to a degree until you qualify your suspicions.
It's your
It's
responsibility.
your responsibility. That's not fair. It's a very thin line that separates. That's discernment still. So us asking these questions, you know what I'm saying, it's needed and necessary. I don't think that it's out of fear. We're not looking at our people and becoming fearful of them. You know what I'm saying? We just need to understand what's taking place, because the rational mind has no way of explaining what the eyes are seeing. Like, this shit don't make no sense.
But okay.
Biden said it was okay, so. Nah, it's like we really need to step out on our own in terms of what's going on in our dome. The things that you're seeing with your eyes, they have to settle in your mind. There's no one really qualified to give you that insight to be like, yo, this is what you're looking at and this is what's going on. We can only give you the facts. We can only give you the information. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You have to make the assessment, if you will. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we all got to be an aspect of central intelligence in our own mind, our own intellect. You know what I'm saying? Center your intelligence, not central, but you have to center your intelligence. You got to be able to look from the right and to the left of a thing and be centered enough to have an overstanding. You know what I'm saying? It is just the same way, even when I'm looking at over there, you know what I mean, in the Middle East. I could position and put myself in either one of their shoes and understand why they take the actions that they take to the degree that they take. You know what I'm saying? But I'm centered in that observation. I don't take a particular side, right? I'm the observer. I'm making an observation. And, I'm like, all right, I'm teaching history based on it. You know what I mean? Because I think that that's very important that we kind of know, right? Because there's double jeopardy shit involved. It's like, how can them niggas be the Canaanites and you the Canaanites too? Because somebody's paying twice for the curse of the Canaanites, my G. Somebody paying twice. That's just like double jeopardy involved with that shit. So that on that note, I wanted to make that observation because there are these similarities, right? Ancient Palestine is Canaanite. That's Canaan land. But you niggas is bearing the brunt of the curse of Ham on the Canaanites. So the land is Canaan, but you the Canaanites.
You the descendant.
You the descendants, according to what Scripture told you, how you got positioned in that book. They told you that you the descendant of the Canaanites, but them people is stuck in Canaan land. Right? And both of them are positioned to be dumped on by the children of Israel. You at the bottom of their toilet bowl on both ends of the spectrum. But your chastisement allegedly finished after 400 years, which would have been August 20th, 2019, if anybody was counting. Right? Why are we not claiming our freedom from the yoke of slavery, if that's the case? We have already surpassed our date with destiny. Why are we not out here flexing our freedom? Or are we?
Well, what does that look like?
What does that look like? Niggas coming from Senegal. They the lost tribes. They coming from the Sudan. Right? You've been united with your brethren. All the tribes are united. We can't even see it for what it is. What if they're out there running plays? What if they doing exactly as they supposed to do, and we up here up in arms, not knowing how to activate these principles? You know what I'm saying? So, a lot to think about. As always, hopefully all of this leads you to love. Lead with love. You know what I'm saying? Don't follow in fear. And yeah, wipe your eyes so you can see things for what they are. And with that, I want to say peace, love, and light. You want to give these people a outro? You spend a good amount of time with them today.
Peace, love, and light.
That's all you got for them?
Don't need no hateration or no holleration in my dancery, y'all. Not a dance. Don't let nobody put nothing in your dance. You know what the real words is? This is why it's important. See, I went down a TikTok rabbit hole yesterday of like teachers and the education system and like where the kids are at and where they're, falling back on.
Right.
And I found out that after going back and reading the lyrics to that song, it's no hateration, no holleration in this dance soiree.
Dance soiree.
Soiree is the French word.
Soiree, you could pronounce it too.
Okay.
I'm listening to the lyrics. They be like, soiree.
No, it's because Mary couldn't read. She didn't know what it says, so she just said dancery.
In this dancery. Okay, so soiree is supposed to be soiree.
Soiree, it's a dance soiree. Dancer. It's been dancery my whole life.
In the dancery.
Like,
Dancer been dancery all our life.
I like dancery a lot better because I don't know how else she could have said soiree. It would have sounded real weird. But like the fact that this is why them babies make sure they know how to read because you don't want to be. You done changed the whole trajectory of generations, bro.
Niggas, you gotta love them.
Dancery. But yeah, don't let nobody bring no hateration, no holleration to your dancery.
To your dancery.
It's a dancery. I like dancery, man.
Dancery.
Dancery.
Truth be told, I was trying to figure out the fuck she was saying. I was like, she made a whole new word.
She was trying to figure it out too.
I was like, she made a whole new word out here. And A dancery? Okay.
She ain't know either. She read them lyrics like, what the fuck? Y'all niggas. Why would you give me this shit?
Like, man, I'm from Yonkers. What's a dance soiree?
What's a soiree?
I'm from School Street.
Where that's at?
From School Street, but she ain't been to school long,
God,
huh?
Man, keep your eyes open. Use your discernment. Build your intuition, which means learn to trust yourself.
Yes. You got any tips for that? You know what I'm saying? Because some people, I get DMs, they struggling with that. You got any tips?
Just trust it. Just go with like when you feel a feeling like, damn, I kind of want to do this, but whenever you feel that something is telling me, follow the something is. And just practice following it, or when you don't follow it and you be like, damn, I knew I should have never. That's it. Now, from moving forward, just practice. Just practice taking a risk on trusting yourself. How about that?
That's
just
a whole
practice
word.
Taking a risk.
Practice taking a risk
on trusting yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was deep. That's a whole word right there.
Yeah, that's been a true learning experience for me. Yes. So it feels like a risk because you're like, damn, I don't know if I really know. What if I'm wrong? And yeah, what if you're wrong? But shit, you got to build a trust in yourself. That's how you build your confidence. Another thing that came to my mind when I'm listening to all the things dealing with the education and the kids is they have, and even seeing it at the camp this summer, they have a lack of confidence because they haven't practiced enough. They haven't taken enough risks as children to fall, make a mistake. Oh, I did. Once they make a mistake, it's like the world is over.
Yo, I've been seeing that.
So it's just
I've been seeing that. And why you think that's because of social media, or what hasn't prepared them to have the wherewithal to make mistakes? It's almost like the scraping of the knee.
I don't know. Because I'm not around them as much, I don't know. But from when we were and I spoke to them, it doesn't really seem like they have much to do. It's like they don't got nowhere to go. They don't go to the mall. They don't go to the movies. They don't hang out outside.
That's what I'm about to say.
They don't have any
you think
life experience.
Could they be inside all the time?
Yes.
They don't really know the scraping of the knee and the
they don't
bumping
know
of
how
the breaking of the
rejection.
arm.
Because my generation,
I don't even see no cast no more. You don't even see arm cast.
I don't even see chicken pox. And I know y'all say that's because of the vaccinations or whatever. I don't know. I just thought that was like an initiation into humanhood. I'm fine. It's time for you to get your chicken pox. You finna start life. Get your itchies on. But I don't know. Speaking my perspective is that maybe
they don't want
they're
to be embarrassed in front of people. That negative attention and feeling like everyone is seeing them. But they on social media. Magical Lady, I hung out at the mall, Wild Child. We were watching somebody's assessment of that the other day, who probably grew up in the same generation you did, where she was like, the mall was everything. Like, that was the meeting spot. Like, that was where you socialized. Like, everybody went to the mall. The mall or your neighborhood, certain people's neighborhoods, there was always one kid whose parents would let everybody come over. Like, there was something after school where we socialize and get together. But when I'm talking to them, they're like, no, I live all the way over here. She lives all the way over there. We only see each other at school or, online. And I empathize with them because, listen, I grew up in Brooklyn. I grew up on Franklin Avenue. It was not easy. Like, niggas did not give a fuck about your feelings, okay? So I understand how it can be. You're going to be embarrassed. You're going to be rejected. You're going to get your heart broken. You're going to be, you're going to have negative days, but you're supposed to. You're a kid. That's how you build up your tough skin for when you become an adult. You got to go through those things so that you feel more confident in yourself, that I don't care what, like, you truly don't care what nobody say. You confident in your ability to be able to do things. Like, I see certain kids that have the most amazing talents that I didn't see kids my age having talent like this. And they're so scared to share it. Like, they're scared to, I don't think it's good enough, or I don't know, maybe if I do better. And it's like, who gives a fuck? You're like 10. Like, you feel me? You got so much time. If there's any a time for you to fuck up, it's now. For real. If there's any a time for you to make a mistake, if there's ever a time for you not to be good, it's now. Who was we counseling the other day, and we was telling them that? I was like, you got time.
don't even know.
Who was I counseling the other day?
I don't even know about all the babies, you know?
I mean, I was sharing this message with some youth the other day, and I was just overstressing to them. They got time, you know. They're in a wonderful position, and you know, allow yourself to make the mistakes that inevitably you're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
But you have time. You can rebound from these mistakes. There's a comeback from these mistakes. These mistakes are a learning lesson. You know, I think once again in our community, and we've had these conversations before, you know, and there's reasons. We've had the conversations and we've got to the reasons why we don't teach about failing forward in our community. Somebody failed one time and they're a throwaway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that this conversation came up yesterday when they was talking about Jeezy and the relationship thing, that, you know, the woman would take the brother back. The brother done made 5, 6, 7, 8 different transgressions or mistakes in the relationship. You know what I mean? And the woman will still be there, but it's like now the tables are turning and women make one mistake, you know what I mean, and the brother want to bail out.
Hell no.
Like, hell no, I can't live with that. And I don't know if it's a social media thing that, you know what I mean, they feel that embarrassment is amplified because more people are watching, or because it's digitally archived, it's a constant reminder.
Oh, I don't know, because dude's been like that for a while. They could dish it but can't take it. They chest be hurting. But I get what you mean. I don't know. Like, I would like to believe that social media and the internet is a big part of it. I do think that it has a lot to do with it, but I don't know. I feel like I can't solely blame it on social media again, because I grew up with social media, so I know what it's like to be online, you know, having your page and having this presence online, and then you also go outside. You also, you know, meet people elsewhere. You go to the shit. You ever got to a point where, like, you go to a party or you go to the movies or you go to the mall, and then they know you by your fucking MySpace profile or your Facebook profile. So we know how to integrate it, but still socialize. You know, you're gonna be embarrassed sometimes. You may not always wear the cool thing. You may not always say the coolest thing. You know, shit happens, but that's how you build character. So when you're an adult, you're not scared to just be yourself. You're not scared to, you know, do whatever it is that you're passionate about doing because you feel like it's not cool enough or it's not perfect enough. Like, it's just ridiculous. Encourage your babies to, you know, go out there, put themselves out there, and just, you know, like you say, fail forward. It's okay if you fuck up. I'm going to stick this right here, so the next time you draw another one, you're going to see your evolution. You're going to see your growth.
Yeah, so that is... that's a paradigm shift because it's not taught in our community, and there's nothing in our culture that kind of supports failing forward. But give yourself permission. I gave myself permission, you know, a long time ago to fail forward. Thank you to my business partner at the time, Majesty. He taught me that concept, and it was difficult. I had to fight through it, you know what I'm saying? But I got to a place, and, you know, I stopped being so heavy-handed on myself, because he's like, yo, we got to celebrate the small victories, and I wasn't even into that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, nah, we celebrate when we get to the platinum party, you know, the gusto.
Right.
And he's like, nah, we're going to celebrate going gold first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm figuratively speaking. Because the culture I was initially introduced, and this is how I was programmed to think, you know, but when I heard him out, and, you know, this brother, Majesty, he was in media, and he worked around different diverse groups of people, right? i.e. Europeans mainly as well. Up in MTV, I think he was working over there and stuff of that nature. And just to say that he was able to observe a different criteria where they weren't afraid to fail, because they actually wanted someone who did fail 10 or 15 times to know something, and then they became more valuable because of their failures. Oh, you failed how many times at this? We need you over here because you know what it takes not to make mistakes.
Right.
So they were better qualified. They had more dirt underneath their nails. They had more skin in the game because they have fallen on their face. As long as you get back up,
Yeah, exactly.
right? There's a place for you here. There's a position for you. They were getting elevated in their workforce, in their jobs, because they was failing. I was like, that's the craziest shit I ever heard. And then I had to really, like sit with it and think about what exactly was being said. And I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, because it was more so
So-
about character than it is about the action.
Right.
Because they going to teach you anyway. Because they kids don't know shit. They kids is really not that smart. They be in them private schools fucking up. They be, like they call it, their favorite term is winging it.
Winging it.
They
right.
be in that
yeah.
motherfucker winging it. They don't do shit. All the teachers is they parent. They don't give a fuck. But they know at the end of the day, their father is going to make sure that they have a well-paying job. And that child could have been the biggest idiot of the entire school. Trust me, I've seen 1,000 times. But they gonna make sure he good. He don't know, but listen, he'll get it. He'll figure it out.
He'll figure it out, right?
Because you ain't gonna make us look stupid. You gonna get this shit. Look at Biden. Look at all the shit that Biden is going through
look
to
at George
keep us
W.
from knowing what the fuck we already know about Hunter.
Right. Right. And that's how they do.
That's how they do.
You feel me? That's how they do.
Make sure that nigga don't have to know shit.
So, if we let me stop speaking French. As individuals, myself included, it would be helpful to embrace making mistakes because we bound to make them. And I lived in a false reality at one point where I was pursuing perfection. You know what I'm saying? And I was so careful that I was really missing the excitement of the actual process of getting to what I was getting to. You know what I mean? Because I was living in this false, trumped up reality in my own mind that I had to be perfect. You know what I mean? And when I got out of my own way, I got to what I needed to get to a lot easier and a lot quicker. I was running to it because I was no longer scared of failure. You feel me? I was no longer scared to fall down because I always knew I would get back up. And now I can run up the mountain barefoot. You know what I'm saying? Because this is things that builds character. That I would run into the fire. I wouldn't run from it. You feel me? And I'm not scared of death, and I'm not fearful of failing. So these are the things that allow us to be courageous in situations and stand up and rise up to the occasions. And I wholeheartedly believe that you have that in you as well. So embrace, the notion and the concept of what it means to fail forward. You know what I'm saying? Every failure is a win because every loss is a lesson. And if it's a lesson, it's never a loss. You know what I'm saying? Because, you can learn potentially from anything and anyone. You feel me? With that, I want to say peace. Thank you. Y'all can hit the Cash App, show some love. $ Blue Pillar 44, so I could give her some of her portion. Take her to the movies. I want to go see Killer of the Flower Moon, so I could come back and talk to y'all about Killer of the Flower Moon. You dig? So with that, peace, love, and light. Until next time, y'all. Peace.